everyone, welcome to my new Instagram page, In the Kitchen on the Table, which is where you will always find me, pretty much always in the kitchen. So my name is Chantal Corsaro. For those that know me well, know that I love to cook. You can ask any of my family and friends, especially my husband. I really do know how to cook. So I'm going to share my knowledge of health and wellness with you, paired with basically all my recipes, which is literally all in this thing. It's filled. I have so many different cookbooks. I'm very excited to share with you literally so many good recipes, a lot of desserts too that are clean. But I wanted to come on here and sort of introduce myself and give you my backstory as to kind of how I got to this place of health and wellness and fitness and nutrition. So back in the summer of, I want to say it was between the summer of 2000 and 2003, my parents had purchased a business which required a lot of their time and their energy and their focus, obviously, because they wanted to get the business up and running and to be successful. Kind of takes a little effort. So they were pretty preoccupied with that at that time. And so my siblings and I we were just home in the summertime. And my brother and I happened to be always tuning into Martha Stewart. I think it was like Cooking with Martha Stewart. I forget exactly what the show was called, but she'd always be cooking. And we were just like so infatuated with her cooking. And I think that's like really where our curiosity for cooking kind of came in. And so we would always like try out different recipes. Oh my gosh, we just wanted to experiment with things. We'd see her make like a delicious pasta dish and we were like, should we make this? And he'd be like, yeah, let's try to make it. And of course, like we were kids, so we couldn't drive at that point. So we kind of just have to make the best with the ingredients and food that we had in the house. So we'd like trial and error, make things, and some things were great, some things were disgusting. We'd have to literally throw them away. But I feel like it was fun to trial and error with food and experiment with different things. But I am French and Italian, so cooking is sort of in my blood. I live and breathe by garlic. I swear by it. There's no such thing as like a clove or two in recipes. That's cute little suggestion that I always like times by 10. So like a full head of garlic, but don't do that if you hate it. I'm just crazy. I love it. In 2004, my parents had been working quite a bit in the business. They were very stressed. No one in the family generally was healthy. We were eating like pizza and wings most nights for dinner, which is terrible. I don't suggest anyone eat pizza and wings every single night as their meal or whatever. That's probably just generally not good. My parents were really stressed all the time. They were not getting enough sleep, especially my dad. They were running a 24/7 business, so it really kind of requires like 25/8, if you know what I mean. He was not sleeping much. I think he said he would sleep, even my mom, 3 to 4 hours a night sometimes, which is so sad. Our diets were terrible. No one was exercising. I mean, my mom did work out a little bit, but my dad was definitely not healthy. He was just working too much and he really did not have time to like take care of himself, which really makes me sad now thinking about that because he sacrificed so much. But all of this ultimately ended up causing my dad to have a heart attack. So in 2004, he had a stent put in. And after that happened, it was sort of eye-opening to kind of watch someone that you love and look up to be very sick and end up needing, like, technically, I think if you look at it like that, it's truly, he needed life-saving surgery. So it was wild at the time because I think in 2004, I was no older than like 13 or 14 at the time. So I think my math is right. So it was really scary. I mean, that was frightening, but after he had a surgery, he was sent home with recipes. And I know that after he had come home, I remember some family and friends had purchased him like the Heart Health Cookbook or For Your Heart, Cooking for Your Heart. So we started implementing those recipes once he was home, so we were cooking more, just because his heart attack really was like eye-opening for the entire family. Just to have us like really look at what and how we were living and what we were eating, and just in general our lifestyle, right? So from 2005 to 7, I mean, generally after his heart attack is when I started cooking more. I was in high school, so I was like old enough to be able to do these things. I want to say my mom would like buy all the ingredients that we needed, and then when I was home from school, I would cook dinner for everyone. And that's sort of where like the combining my talents of like cooking and healthier recipes kind of started, I guess. So from that point on, I did a lot of cooking, and I was really intrigued by it. Like, I guess the whole fact of like you could really just cook yourself healthy food, and why wouldn't you? So from that point on, that's where my interest kind of really started. And then when I was in college, I was even more interested in the fitness aspect of things. So I remember having the Nike Plus app, and then there was like this cute little, I don't even know, it was like a cute little thing that you put in your shoe that would track your steps. So they didn't have Apple Watches and like Fitbits back then, but they had the Apple Plus app, I think it was called. So I would record runs and walks, and I really started getting more into just the health and wellness field, and nutrition, working out, exercise, just all that, like to be healthier, basically, to like lead a healthier life. And then I transferred away to Kent State University. And in college, I was not healthy at all. I mean, I don't know many college students that are like the peak or prime of their health. Typically, everyone's drinking too much, eating way too much pizza, of course, and junk food. My sleep schedule was not, I had no like good, my circadian rhythms were terrible. I was not going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. I was sleeping until like 1 p.m. and, you know, then staying up until like 3 a.m. It was terrible. And this wasn't every day, obviously, but there was no consistent sleep schedule. So I really remember always just feeling not great. And I had quite a bit of social anxiety and just general anxiety that I hadn't dealt with. So, and now knowing what I know, kind of all those factors, especially drinking and not eating well and not sleeping and resting well, really had an impact on my anxiety. And so at that point in college, it was pretty bad, and I was drinking more than I should have, and I was just not very healthy. And then kind of after college, I started to research how to manage anxiety not on medicines, like a natural solutions to curing my anxiety, essentially. I was on 2 different medicines to deal with anxiety, and I hated one of them. Just made me feel like a zombie, and that wasn't who I was, and I didn't want to be I guess, for like lack of better terms, muted, because that's what I felt like, just sort of blah, and like I was there but not, I never felt emotion, I never felt like happiness or sadness. And so it was not, I knew that there had to be more than just those options of prescriptions, right? So I started researching, literally just like straight Googling like how to naturally cure anxiety. And you can do the same thing too if you want, if you don't blame me. You can do the same thing with literally anything. I'm sure you can find the cure online if you really want it. But basically, I started exercising, and this is where I implemented yoga. So I've been practicing yoga since like 2012 or 13. So it's been quite a bit. And I love yoga. Yoga is like one of the things that just is like near and dear to my heart. But I also read that caffeine has a big role in how to like it can flare up your anxiety. So I started lessening and just being mindful of the caffeine intake. I love coffee so much, like I really do, and I drink probably still more than I should. But I had that point had become very conscientious of how much caffeine I was taking in. I learned how terrible alcohol was for anxiety at that point. Even though you feel like it's like social lubricant, it actually intensifies things even worse. So I learned all about that. I cleaned up my diet, cut out, generally, it was like not like I didn't go cold turkey on anything, but I cut out sugar, or slowly cut out sugar at that point. And I tried to be more mindful of the carbohydrates that I was consuming. Both of those things have an impact on your blood sugar, which also impacts anxiety. So I really did start cooking more of my own meals, started incorporating more whole foods, meaning like fruits, vegetables, like food in its natural state. I mean, I'm not saying like raw meat, but like things that hadn't undergone processing of any kind. So basically things that you could like pluck out in nature if you wanted. So again, like fruits, vegetables, salads. I would cook a lot of meat. So I just try to focus on basically like eating well again. Because college, pizza and all the junk food. So in 2017, my husband and I know for those that know me, know I was like a huge advocate of the ketogenic diet. I still am. I still think it's wonderful. But I feel like there's some nuances in there, and just in general, it's a good place to start. But we did Mark Sisson's 6-week keto reset. My husband and I loved it. I learned that's when I you had to cook every single meal. And now, I cook pretty much literally every single meal. Still currently, even desserts and like smoothies and all sorts of things. I pretty much, even sauces, dressings, I make all of that from scratch. It's just way better. I know what's in it. You don't have to do that, but I really do enjoy cooking, so that's why I did that. But I learned, keto taught me about all the food, but it also taught me the quality of food. And I know that some people say the quality doesn't matter, or like, why would you spend this much money on food? But I am here to tell you, it literally does matter. There is a reason why there are certain olive oils that are much more expensive. There are meats that are way more expensive. And I guess you can find something for every budget and every price point, but there really is a reason why certain things are more money. Some things might be a little bit of a ripoff, sure, but in general though, like there is a reason that these foods are more expensive. And the way I look at it, I'm just gonna give you my 2 cents. The way I look at it is you can either, and I am on no pharmaceuticals. I take nothing, just my vitamins, my minerals, my electrolyte supplements, like healthy things, supplemental things to my diet. But you're either gonna pay for your health as you get older with pharmaceuticals, which I truly do not believe in. I believe that you can go into your older years without being on any prescriptions. I truly believe that, as long as you are taking care of yourself, meaning exercising, sleeping, eating properly, which most people don't, even though they think they do. I'm gonna bring that out. Like, it's just, people think that they eat healthier than they do. So I'm here. This is why I'm here. I'm here to share my knowledge and to teach everyone how to cook. Even if that's the only thing you take away from this this page is learning how to cook, then I have taught you something. But you really are going to either pay in the long term with the doctor visits and pharmaceuticals down the road. You're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you can spend a little more each week on your groceries and have long-term health forever. And you'll never have to worry about that. You won't be a burden on the healthcare system. Will be taking care of yourself. I mean, health is truly a personal responsibility, right? Like, no one can do it for you. No one can go run 3 miles for you. No one can go lift the weights for you and become stronger for you. No one can eat the food to become healthier and leaner for you. Those are all things that you have to do. And so it does take effort. It does take hard work and determination, and to just show up for yourself. So I'm here to also motivate you if you are in a place where you're not feeling that, because I think it's important that everyone, like for me, and I'll just share my personal goal currently, I'm trying to become the fittest and the leanest that I have ever seen myself, strongest ever. So that's just a personal goal of mine that I'm working towards. And it is hard work. It is. Like, there are days, you can even ask Rocco when we train, that I am so exhausted. Like, even today we did legs, and there was like a mental block where I was literally like, I don't have any more energy to give. I cannot push any harder. But I just literally was like, just breathe through it and just listen to him and then just do it. And I got it done and I felt so much better. I mean, I'm tired and I can't wait to go to sleep tonight, but I did it. So you just have to show up for yourself basically. But I'm here to help you and coach you along the way, so you're not going to be alone. But basically after keto, I really did start like, I mean, I'm down the rabbit hole. I'm never coming back out. I'm like all the way down. But I would find other books because I'm interested to hear what other people have to say, especially the doctors that kind of like not oppose keto, but have other like input and different feelings towards it and just different research on it. So I'm curious I always like to read both sides of the story. So I've been doing a lot of that. I've come across a lot of great doctors, a lot of great just fitness enthusiasts, I guess, and health and wellness people along the way. And I'll share those with you guys. But so basically, just know that health and wellness and fitness and just being healthy is not a destination. You're never just gonna like do a few things and then you're gonna be there. It's like how you live your life, right? And so I think that if you get the right skills and the right information, you can really create a beautiful and healthy lifestyle. So that's kind of why I'm here, as well as like sharing nutrition and recipes for everybody. But just know that it's something that you have to do every day. And the more that you know what to do, the easier it gets. And the stronger you get, the easier it gets too. So yeah, just know that it's not a destination, but it's sort of over the lifetime, which is beautiful. And then my last stop of kind of my health and wellness journey was in 2021. I came off of birth control. I had been on it for 16 years, which is so wild, and I feel like no one should be on anything that long. But I am, like I said, not on any pharmaceuticals now, which is amazing. I'm so happy. And once I came off of birth control, my anxiety literally went away almost overnight, which now looking back, I feel like the reason that I did have anxiety could have been from taking the pill, which I didn't realize until obviously now after I'm off of it for almost a year. But my hair started growing in super thick. Like I never had like super thick hair to begin with, but it's much thicker than it used to be. I mean, I also take a lot of supplements, a lot of collagen, all that bone broth, but I really do feel like coming off of that, really the side effect was actually that my body could like restore itself, and I have like thicker hair now, which is wonderful. It makes me so happy. But I did learn, and it's so crazy, after I came off birth control, learned that birth control is considered a group 1 carcinogen, which is like unbelievable that I was on it for 16 years. I can't believe it. It also depletes magnesium, selenium, vitamin B2, B6, B12, zinc, folate, vitamin C, and vitamin E. But don't worry, I take plenty of vitamins that supplement all of that. So I believe my body is now in like a much more healthy state than it was. And again, I didn't know this until I came off birth control. But I've done a lot of research. I read quite a few books, listened to so many podcasts. I mean, I just try to constantly grow my knowledge. If there's something out there that someone's talking about, I generally listen to it because I'm curious. I want to know. I need to know. If there's new information present, I always am open-minded and I listen because I want to learn something, because there's probably something I can take away from it. And generally there is. I mean, I feel like I've learned so much since basically, I mean, really since like 2004, to now, I've learned so much information, almost 20 years of information. So I'm going to share it all with you guys. I'm planning to give you as much nutritional information and tips and like, for example, how to shop for the highest quality olive oil. Most people don't know how to even do that, or what different things you should look for. So I'll be sharing that with you guys, like again, along with like a ton of other different things on like how to pick higher quality ingredients. So I'll share those. I'm going to have so many recipes, so many. A lot of them are going to be generally like lower carb, just because the wheat and flour are so bad. Same with sugar. So I will be using different substitutes, and I will share those and why I use them. And all my desserts are made with no sugar. I use a monk fruit sweetener. It's a nice substitute sweetener. It generally tastes like literally just like sugar. You really, I mean, like, I don't think you'd be able to tell. But again, you know, use whatever you want. But these are just my recipes. And then I'll also be sharing smoothies and protein bowls, as like those are some of my favorite like substitute meals. I mean, they're just, the calories are still there, but it's like high protein. So those are always delicious. We'll have some fitness information, and like I know that you guys have seen me post my drip house where I do the cryotherapy and the sauna. So I'll bring some of those posts on there, and hopefully I'll have my friend Rocco on my page to share his knowledge of fitness and all things wellness and yoga. He's wonderful. He's one of my favorite human beings. So shout out to Rocco. I'll also share some of my intermittent fasting. I do that generally between 18 to 20 hours a day currently. Although generally I always just try to hit a benchmark of 16 hours of fasting. But again, do not do any of this. If you have never done any of it, please do not. So I will share these things with you, tips and tricks. And like I said, I just want to help people and give them information, since there's so much information out there. I feel like I've sort of like, I'm like the filter for all the information that exists. And I'll give you both sides of information, but I am not a doctor and I am not a nutritionist. I am just a girl who is on a mission to make myself healthier and everyone around me healthier. So I think by giving you my recipes and some knowledge, hopefully I'll be able to, you know, help and inform the masses is kind of what I'm going for. But you know, and if you think that you know anyone that would benefit from this information, please share. That would be awesome. I really just generally did this because I want to help people, I want to inform people, and I just want to like give them the information that they need. So I really do hope that you enjoy my content, and I look forward to posting so many recipes, and hopefully you guys enjoy everything. Thank you.